Secret number 3. The biggest mistake that most shooters make. Now, most people, when they're interested about getting into guns, they make a really massive mistake. They don't want to buy a gun until they feel comfortable with a gun. They don't want to own the firearm and have it in their house until they know how to use it 100%. As I mentioned in secret number 2, you're never going to feel comfortable and safe driving a car until you have driven a car safely multiple times, right? So you will never feel comfortable and safe handling a gun until you handle a gun consistently over a long period of time. I encourage all of my brand new first-time shooter students to go out and buy a gun. I know that sounds crazy, right? People are like, I don't want a gun because I don't want a mistake to happen. I think you need to buy a gun. But I also think you should never purchase real ammunition. Instead, I want you to buy a bunch of these. So these are fake, they're called dummy rounds, and they're shaped just like a real 9mm bullet, but it allows you to practice loading and unloading your gun safely in your house. So it allows you to develop the skills necessary to become a safe, responsible gun owner, while eliminating the potential risk of an accident. Now, to avoid the mistake that most brand new shooters make, you gotta do 3 things. Number 1, you gotta be consistent. You know, is it acceptable for you to train with your gun once a year? No, you're never gonna build and develop your confidence if you're only touching it once a year. Do you need to train once every 6 months? Once every 3 months? Once a month? No, none of that is enough. You've got to touch the gun every day for just a few minutes. 5 minutes a day is all it takes for you to really master these skills. Shooting fundamentals are also a depreciating skill. So just because you're good at shooting today, over time that skill begins to degrade and it completely disappears, which is why you have to be consistent in all of your training. Number 2, your training must be deliberate. You know, deliberate training means highly focused, you're intense, you're really trying very hard to master these skills. I encourage you to create an area in your home that you can dedicate to this training. You want to make sure that this area is clean, free from distractions, and of course there is 0 live ammunition. Number 3, you must practice perfectly. As Michael Jordan once said, you can practice shooting for 8 hours a day. But if your technique is wrong, all you do is become good at shooting the wrong way. And isn't that kind of the truth? If you're not getting proper training and education, all you're doing is learning the wrong way to become a safe gun owner. And that's not what we want. Now, I'm pretty sure Michael Jordan wasn't talking about shooting guns, but I still think the principle applies. Now, if you guys are unsure about which gun is gonna be the right gun for you to buy, I have 2 recommendations. Number 1 is the Glock 19. The Glock 19 is my personal all-time favorite gun. It also just happens to be one of the best-selling pistols on the planet, and I have trained thousands of first-time shooters using a Glock 19. So I know if they can do it, you can do it. The second gun that I would recommend is the Smith & Wesson 380 Shield EZ. Now, this gun is amazing. It's absolutely phenomenal. In fact, each one of my children have their own 380 Shield EZ. And again, my kids are 11, 8, and 6. And if they can handle this gun, you can handle this gun.